Zags on. Horford kicks it out. Maxey tees one up from... Scrapes himself away from the D. Shot clock at 6. Maxey triple puts it down. Ball moving. It's Embiid free to fire. Drills it. Joel Embiid.
Game 5 at TD Garden. And the Sixers come out with a win to take the series lead 3-2, 115-103. Sixers beat the Boston Celtics on the road. Incredible. And they dominated. 115-103 is no indication of what the game really was. The lead, when the Celtics were trying to make a push, got as high as 21 in this one before the starters came out. Also fitting, Joel Embiid was a game high plus 21, and so the Joel Embiid minutes were more than enough in this one for the Sixers to get the win. There's so much to talk about. The end of the Sixers' bad streak of losing pivotal game 5s when coming in 2-2. We know the story in 2019, 2021, and 2022, but 2023 with a couple different pieces on the roster, a new look team. The story is changed. The script is different, and the Sixers win this one to take a lead, and they get to come back to the Wells Fargo Center on Thursday night with a chance to close out the Boston Celtics and move to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in over 20 years. That's the story in this one. Just incredible. They were so good. I mean, they were so good. It's very difficult to find anything to complain about. The Celtics led at one point 10-8, and that's about it. Sixers kept it rolling from there on out. Led after 1 by 7, led at half by 9. Felt it could have been a little bit more at the half, and then end of the third quarter, Sixers really, put this one in jeopardy for Boston to go up 16 heading into the fourth, and again, it got as high as 21 during the Joel Embiid minutes after he checked back in after a short break. Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris were phenomenal in this game. It was a team effort. It really, really was, because we talked on the podcast in our last full-length episode that we might need a quote-unquote Tyrese Maxey game. And I would call this a Tyrese Maxey game if it weren't for what everybody else did as well. Tyrese had 30 points. He finished 10 for 21 and 6 for 12 from 3. So, yeah, Tyrese Maxey game. But Tobias Harris, despite foul trouble, he had a double-double the first minute into the third quarter. He had 14 and 10 at that point and finished with 16 and 11 in just 31 minutes, again, due to foul trouble. James Harden was James Harden. He hadn't had a game like this in this series. We talked about this on the podcast, too. We just wanted kind of season average James Harden. Felt that might be enough, and it was tonight. Again, due to the supporting cast, he had 17 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. He controlled the game. He only shot the ball 8 times. He got to the line 10 times. He controlled tempo at some major points in this game to help the Sixers maintain their lead. It was almost like every time the Celtics looked to make a run or they went on a 4 or 5-0 run, Sixers just responded, and it was beautiful because there was times, obviously, with knowing the Sixers and their history, it's like, is Boston going to get back in this? Are they going to get back in this? They cut it to 11 at one point in the fourth quarter, and then Tyrese Maxey hit a big 3. Joel Embiid's in, and he hits a big 3 to put it back up to 17 and really put this one away almost at that point. So just an incredible team effort. PJ Tucker had 3.7 rebounds. He made a big 3 in the fourth to, again, extend that lead. A big surprise in this one, we did have a Daniel House sighting, and I don't think it'll be the last one because he was great. He finished with 10 points on 5 of 7 shooting. He had 5 rebounds. He was very good and active on the offense and defensive ends. He was just good in his 15 minutes. Niang, pretty quiet in 12 minutes, just 1 shot attempt. Anthony Melton, pretty quiet as well for him, but he did have some minutes on Jason Tatum that were big and frustrated Jaylen Brown a couple times. So Jason Tatum finished with 36. He was a game low, minus 26 for the Boston Celtics in his 40 minutes. He finished 11 for 27 from the field. He got to the line a ton. There were stretches in this game where Boston's best offense was getting to the free throw line, and that was all they could do. And they kept getting calls, and they kept getting to the line. They kept stiff-arming Sixers defenders, and the foul was on the Sixers, and Jason Tatum, again, 11 for 13. Marcus Smart got to the line 10 times. Jaylen Brown got to the line 8 times. But this was Al Horford. Also, before I move on, Al Horford was great for the Sixers in this one. 0 points and 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. That's what you just love to see from Al Horford. Still scoreless since he did that little shimmy after the game, after the game 4, or in game 4 toward the end. Celtics bench relatively quiet. Malcolm Brogdon had just 7. Not a whole lot else there. Peyton Pritchard, we saw Peyton Pritchard check in. He finished with 8, some of which were in garbage time, but Celtics couldn't do a whole lot. Again, offensively, during this series, a lot of the time it's felt like the Celtics were getting what they wanted, and the Sixers were having a hard time getting buckets, or having to work harder for their offense, but that was just not the case tonight. It was the opposite of that. The Sixers just made it look easy on offense. They really, really, really played well. Shot 50.6% from the floor, 40% from 3, to the Celtics just shooting 31.6% and 39% from the field. So you can see this discrepancy there. But again, James Harden did what James Harden has done all year for this team. Joel Embiid was amazing. Playing the two-man game with James Harden. He got a lot of mid-range jumpers to fall, got to the line 11 times, made 10 of his 23 shots for 33 in this one. Again, Maxey had 30. Tobias Harris finished with 16. Daniel House with 10 off the bench to round out the Sixers' leading scorers. 5 guys in double figures, and the 4 Sixers' main scorers were in double figures by the half, which is something you just love to see. This team played very well, and they executed whatever the game plan was. They did it, and they did it well. Even when Embiid started to get double teams, he handled them pretty well. And they would either find an open man or they would reset, and Embiid would get the ball back. Again, it was just a good game. I don't even want to talk about what did go wrong, because there was nothing that went wrong. My biggest concern heading into the fourth quarter was like, all right, you just can't let Jason Tatum go off here. Again, they did cut it to 11, but the Sixers every single time, and this is a sign of the maturity of this team. This is a sign of a team that just doesn't fold like maybe in years past. They didn't face a ton of adversity, and that was because of their ability to make shots in the half court. And the half court offense they would run after Celtics made bucket. So like Sixers just executed time and time and time again. There were moments when Reggie Miller was like, all right, Celtics could go on a run here, and then immediately following that, Sixers would get a bucket. They'd get a steal on defense and poke it out for a fast break. Like, they dominated this one from start to finish in TD Garden in Game 5, something the Sixers have not done, a place they have not fared well, and they come out with a win to take a 3-2 lead. This is Planet 76 5-minute recap. So I'm one of the co-hosts of Planet 76. My name's Troy, and we will see you for Thursday night, Wells Fargo Center. Michael's got that Planet 76 5-minute recap coming your way after Thursday's Game 6 against the Boston Celtics, where the Sixers look to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Couldn't be more exciting, and we'll have it covered for you here on Planet 76.